Hello everybody and welcome back to Harvest Moon Magical Melody. I'm here on the 27th day of summer, exactly 3 weeks after my last update, and a lot of things have changed. I have a lot of updates for you guys, so I'll just start with, of course, Ray is here in my house, and we're now married. I said that I'd be married by the next time I recorded a video, and I delivered. I know I was very late on the marriage, and I didn't really keep you guys too well informed, but I did get married on the 9th day of summer, and I should be expecting baby news soon. 20 days after your wedding, an event should occur where you or your wife is pregnant. So this should fall on the same day as the Sheep Festival, assuming of course that the festival doesn't affect that event, and 60 days after that I should have a baby. So the baby should be born just before the beginning of the 3rd year, or just as the 3rd year is coming around. Either way, it's gonna really end up being perfect for the end of the playthrough. So I'm very excited about that, and of course I will try and keep everybody a little better updated about that. And I do also plan on doing a few updates on the 29th, because I did mention that I do plan on entering the Sheep Festival, and hopefully we can win this year. And I do have a lot of stuff to talk about, so I'll just split those into 2 videos, and hopefully I still have a lot of content before the summer ends. So of course it's raining today, so that takes care of a bit of my workload. I haven't changed my crops at all in the season because I'm boring and I just stick with the same thing. And I thought that I was going to be able to survive the entire season without a storm, but I was wrong. I got to the 20th day of summer and lo and behold, there it was, a huge storm. And I was actually very lucky because it only wiped out maybe 5 of my crops, I would say, if I had to guess. And it wiped out a bunch of grass that I have where my animals graze, which I think made me more mad because it makes everything really uneven, and I'm a person that can't stand that. Everything has to be prim and proper and even, so that really actually drove me insanely nuts. But I have actually fixed that since the last time I recorded, and I really should go home and get my bell because I don't want my animals to get sick. I'm not going to worry about feeding them right now though, I'll do that later. But as you can see, I got rid of the windmill, and I did that because there's no notes associated with it, and I couldn't find a place that I wanted it, and it was just kind of an eyesore. So I just decided to get it demolished and to plant more grass. Since the storm wiped out a lot of it, I just decided to go ahead and try and make it a bit more even and get it back to where it was. I also moved my fence. I think I moved it 2 whole squares over. So the fence has increased in size, and that's also because I have another animal. So why don't I go home and grab my bell, put my poor animals inside before they all get sick and unhappy, and then I will introduce you all to the newest edition of my family. Alright, so I grabbed my bell, decided not to show me just grabbing it and coming out, because that's a waste of time. I can't believe I forgot it though. Oh well. I find that if I keep them out just for a couple hours in the morning after I wake up, it's fine. I am actually absolutely blown away with how these animals have not gotten sick. I must just have some animals that have super immunities, or I just have a high heart level or something. I have animal medicine waiting just in case something does happen, but I really don't tend to have the best luck with animals and getting sick, but in this game I've had amazing luck, which I'm super thankful for. I'm just gonna wait for them to move their butts inside. I purposely kept my horse out because I want to ride it around. A couple of my animals have already migrated inside, but a couple of them have, you know, stayed outside. So I figured because I have more animals, I want to give them more space to graze, and when I brought all my animals out a couple of days ago, I realized just how little space that I had as my animal family grows. So, as you can see here, with the exception of my horse, I now have 5 animals, and I bought a little baby sheep who I named Sheepish. I was just going to use a miracle potion on my sheep, but then of course, stupid me, I realized that if I did that, the sheep wouldn't be eligible to compete in the sheep festival that's coming up. In order for the sheep to be able to compete, you have to have a healthy, non-pregnant sheep with all of its wool. So I haven't actually had a chance to shear my sheep in a little while. So I'm losing a little bit of profit, but after the festival ends, I shouldn't have to worry about that. And I will also have another sheep to shear. I only need 3 more animals, and I will be able to get the Animal Kingdom note, and I'll have a full barn, which will be madness. There'll be so many animals in here. And my chickens are my chickens. I don't have anything to really update you guys on. Like I said, I'll go feed them later. It's a Monday today, which is good because I have a lot of stores I want to visit that are closed on Tuesday, which is why I decided to do this update today. I'm going to visit the workshop first. And I want to talk to Woody because I had mentioned a little while ago that when you go to buy land from Woody, he pulls up this nice map for you, and it shows you all the property in the entire village. So the dark blue properties are other people's properties, so usually like stores or people's houses are on these pieces, and all the light blue properties are pieces of my land. So as you can see, I have a pretty sizable amount of land considering that I'm only one person. I have all of the mountain area owned. I've got lots of waterside property. I've got a couple spaces in town, and of course I have the piece of property that my house is on. So I have a lot of property, and I have actually purchased my 10th piece of property. If I pull up my menu, I think it will say 10 out of 20, which has enabled me to get the note. And I have a lot of fodder from when I won the cow festival, as well as a lot of lumber. So instead of buying more property, which can be pricey, I do plan on remodeling my house. So I currently have the level 3 home, which is pretty nice, but as I said, it's getting a little cramped, especially with 4 people, I guess, if you include the animals, walking around just on the base floor with all the furniture. It's really cramped. So I'm planning to upgrade it. And with all of the lumber that I have and all the cash that I have, I should be able to buy a level 4 house. And I do plan on doing that next season. However, I need to wait for my crops to come in because as it expands, it's going to take up more and more space on my property. So I thought I would just show everybody that briefly. And now that that is taken care of, I'd like to go and show everybody what my plan is for the next season. I do plan on upgrading the house, but I now need another space to put my crops. So throughout the month, I have been using my sickle to clear out a lot of land, which has enabled me to also level the tool up, which is awesome. I think I found the perfect little spot, and I do believe it's actually the place where you would have your town home if you chose one the town plot in the beginning of the game. So I'm kind of thinking that this is going to be a good place for my crops. It's solitary, it's kind of out of the way, there's no shops around, and it's a pretty big piece of land, so if I want to, I can really plant a lot more stuff than what I have been planting, which I think is a good thing. I do have a little bit more clearing out to do. I still have some weeds to take care of. Of course, I have to till the land and put some fertilizer on it as well. But hopefully I'll be able to make a lot of money with crops next season before we get into winter, where of course I do plan on making a lot of money off of mining because, you know, that's just what I do. So now I'm just going to go to the mountain and I'm going to collect a couple of things. And that's about all I really wanted to squeeze into this video. Lots of changes with property, you know, sprucing up here and there, getting rid of weeds and rocks, and I'm planning to make more use of my property because out of the 10 that I own, I only really use the 2. I use the place where my house is and the place where my animals are. And I do have that second house, but I don't really use it a whole lot. The only thing I really use it for is for the shipping box. The shipping box is nice to have when I'm out collecting stuff in the mountain. So I'll be able to actually use some of the property that I've owned. I don't just look, you know, like I'm this big rich person coming in and buying all the land with, you know, nothing to put on it. I wonder what my neighbors think of me. Probably not too highly. And there are so many weeds. This is almost as bad as Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing's worse, though. I haven't played Animal Crossing in a long time. But that's completely off topic. I think I did mention last video that I had taken care of this property a little bit because I own all of this property from here all the way to the cave. And I took care of a lot of the big rocks because as I was driving my horse through here, I noticed how tight it was and how annoying it was to get around, so I kind of just took care of the big rocks because I have the goddess hammer and, you know, why not? But taking care of weeds is a huge pain, and I've only really been doing it when it's necessary, but I have really managed to level my sickle up, and I've done a lot of work with it, which is great because it drains my stamina like crazy, but all the big rocks that were here are now gone. Lots of property management, that's what I've been spending a lot of my days doing. I'm really surprised I have a lot of money because I haven't actually been doing a lot of stuff outside of my crops and animals. I really haven't done any mining in the last little while. I've just been really busy trying to level up some tools, to gather some lumber for the house upgrade, to take care of some weeds and things like that. So let's go back to my house and take a look at some of the tools that I have upgraded. I think it's just my sickle, but that's okay. I'm also going to give a present to Ronald. He's almost at 3 hearts, which is good because at that point I should be able to unlock another villager. He's out in his orchard in the rain, hard working, which is good. I'm glad I'm not the only one out here working. And I think my horse is almost at a full training level too, which is great. And I haven't done anything new in my house. I did mention last video that I did a few upgrades. I moved some furniture around and whatnot, but I'm really excited to upgrade my house and to put more furniture in because I do believe at level 4 you get a second floor, which is exciting. I always like to have a second floor. So you can see that I've upgraded my axe to gold, just barely. I really doubt I'll be able to upgrade it to goddess because I really don't have a lot of use for lumber at this point in the game. I've pretty much built everything that there is. I've upgraded my sickle to silver and it's almost at gold. And other than that, I haven't really been using many of my tools. I've used my hoe a lot because I had to fix all of the grass where my animals graze, but again, I doubt I'm going to be able to get that to goddess. And, you know, my fishing rod has remained untouched because I just never think about it, honestly. So that's about it. And like I said, I have a couple of other things to mention in the next video that I do. Mostly just the routine stuff, going over notes and friendship levels and hopefully a baby event as well as a festival. So summer is winding down, however I have big plans in the fall season before winter hits, and hopefully I will be able to remain very, very productive. So thank you all so very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that I will be seeing you next time.